Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Chaffee. Meteorologist Alan Casper asked me to cut another GFS video for the afternoon because he likes my videos. So I'm doing this just for him. And in case you don't know who Alan is, Alan was on TV in New York for many years and also the king of New Jersey 101.5 radio, where I had the pleasure to work with him for a number of years. And he is now sitting at home on his lawn chair waiting for the snow to arrive. So here we go. I'm going to start off with the 850 level, or about the 5,000 foot level. Kind of like to look at this with regards to rain and snow. I have been saying, and I know a lot of you, some of you have been disagreeing with me, I really think mixing issues in this situation will be at a minimum. And if you look at the model on today's run, in spite of the fact that the model is actually a little bit further northeast, it's also colder, and this is typical. When you have cold air that's draining down from the Hudson Valley with high pressure to the north, we get always colder than what guidance shows early on, and it plays catch up until the last minute. Because I've been saying that, in my opinion, Friday temperatures are going to have a hard time getting out of the 20s over a large portion of the area of Long Island, at least the northern half of New Jersey, and certainly through southeastern New York and southern New England. Now, as we move into Friday night, now this is where the zero line is, and usually the rain snow line is going to be further north than the zero, but we'll go with the zero just to give you an idea because we could follow it along. And you'll notice this is Friday evening. The zero line is still pretty far south, and it's further south than the last couple of runs. By Saturday morning, that zero line is still way south in southern New Jersey. Now, the rain snow line is probably more just inland of the coast. So I'm thinking if there's going to be mixing issues, we're talking about coastal Monmouth and Ocean County southward. And even if that happens, it's only going to be for a few hours. I think New York City, Long Island, southern New England, this is not going to be a problem. And after 7 a.m. Saturday morning, it doesn't matter because by 1 p.m., the zero is out in the ocean, and you've got -5 or lower over Long Island, over all of New Jersey, including the coast. So if you lose a couple of hours because of mixing, who really cares? And there's the surface low as it sits on the new GFS run east of Delaware, south of Southampton on Long Island. It's fairly deep, strong northeast inflow coming in from off the ocean. Now let's go to the surface map. So you can see how this translates on the surface, and you can see, I'll just back it up a couple of frames. It's a precip just about on the New York City's doorstep by Friday evening. It might seem a little fast, I don't know, but there's the coastal low. The surface low from eastern Tennessee redevelops right over Wilmington, runs north-northeast just west of Hatteras, and then continues northeast from there. You can see heavy snow by this model being indicated not just over the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area, but also over central and eastern Long Island and through southern New England, and another patch here along coastal New Jersey. Who knows where this really winds up, how it sets up. It'll be something like that. And then the surface low just kind of sits there for about 6 or 7 or 8 hours or so, and then starts to move away to the east and even east-southeast. So the issue with regards to the models is really fairly straightforward in that I'll show you what the upper air and what this is really telling us here is that you have this dynamic system that's coming out here in the southern stream. Your northern jet's going to give way just enough. It's only going to be able to lift so far north. And what we need to resolve is exactly how far north it gets. If it gets like this, where you have the upper low sitting east of Atlantic City, then yeah, there'll be heavy snow from Boston down to the middle part of the Hudson Valley and through northeastern Pennsylvania, and certainly through all the areas from, say, New York City south and west into Washington, Baltimore, and so on, and maybe even including southernmost Connecticut and certainly Long Island with some heavy precip, if this is the look. If it winds up being a little further south than this, even by about 50 or 75 miles, then you're going to start to shift everything further south maybe a little bit more like the European, which, by the way, still gives a substantial snowfall. It just gives a little bit less. It didn't give a lot less on the overnight, but it did give less than the others. And speaking of snowfall, I'll show you the snowfall map for the GFS, and I'll get a little closer because I think the map kind of looks reasonable when you start to see some of these maps that print out 40 and 50-inch amounts. I mean, I can't in good conscience go out and forecast something like that. But when you look at this map, I'm going to go out to the total snowfall, so we'll take it out far enough into Sunday evening. So this is total snowfall. So all of the areas in purple, in the yellowish orange that you see here, this is all 1 foot plus snows, and you can see how it varies in a few places, but it's printing out some of these amounts, and it's got a small area of 2 foot around Baltimore and Washington, D.C. I think given what the model is showing, this is a reasonable outcome to expect. I'm still not forecasting anything until probably, as I scheduled it, I'm probably going to do it first thing tomorrow morning. I'll put up out a first call map. I, of course, want to see what the European does, and that'll be out in a couple of hours. And in the meantime, enjoy this afternoon where I keep hearing the wind howling and wind chills that make it feel like it's down somewhere in the single digits to near zero. Have a good rest of your day.